Hello. In this training video, I will cover the different financial guidelines and obligations that pertain to the Student Affairs departments. This video is compiled and presented by the Student Affairs Business Service Center at Boston College. The Student Affairs Business Service Center is located on the 4th floor of Maloney Hall, Suite 458. If you have any questions about the information in this training or your financial responsibilities, please feel free to contact us. You are also encouraged to stop by our office in Maloney Hall, Suite 458 during regular business hours. The SABSC is part of the Office of the Vice President for Student Affairs. Our role is to process financial transactions for Student Affairs offices and student organizations. These transactions include reimbursements, vendor payments, student hires, purchase orders, charge-string fund transfers, and monthly ACR reporting. In addition, SABSC orders P-cards and manages e-market requests and reconciliations for Student Affairs staff and student groups. This online training will reference various financial forms that departments will use when submitting paperwork to the SABSC. All of these forms can be found on the Student Affairs Business Service Center website. Additionally, all of these forms require signature authorizations in order to be processed. In order to ensure that all submitted paperwork can be properly processed, please be sure to follow the instructions provided on the last page on all financial forms. I will briefly highlight the main points of discussion that you will make use of. These will be reimbursements, proof of payment, outside vendors, purchase orders, award or honorariums, student hires, travel advances, transfers, deposits, P-card program, and American Express. We will start with student reimbursements. If a student pays out of pocket and wishes to be reimbursed by your department, please fill out this BC student reimbursement form. Students may be reimbursed up to 100% of the money that they spent out of pocket. In order to complete this process and all other financial requests, all paperwork must be filled out accurately with correct chart string information and authorized signatures. Otherwise, you will receive an email stating that the form has been returned. To avoid this, please follow the instructions provided on the final page of each form. The student reimbursement form, along with all other up-to-date forms, can be found on the SABSC website. Proper signature authorization is required for all reimbursement requests. A BC employee payment form is used if it's requesting a payment to a BC employee for reimbursement or work done outside of their primary job function at the university. Employees may be reimbursed up to 100% of the money that they spent out of pocket. Both a BC employee payment and SABSC expense report form are required for all travel-related reimbursements. These forms can be found on the SABSC website. Proof of payment is required for all reimbursements. Proof of payment is required for all reimbursable expenses, as well as outside individuals seeking reimbursement of any kind from BC. Original itemized receipts must be turned in, along with either form when seeking reimbursement. If a check is used, submit a copy of the front and back of the check once it has been processed by the bank. Be sure to black out any sensitive banking account information. If a credit or debit card is used, an itemized credit card receipt containing the last 4 digits of the credit card can be submitted with the reimbursement. If the receipt does not have the last 4 digits of the card, a bank statement showing the charges is required. For all food and dining expenses, a list of attendees is also required. If the list of attendees exceeds 25 individuals, a list is not needed and should be noted on the receipt. Remember that a BC employee and SABSC expense report form are required for all travel-related reimbursements. The mileage rate and any additional travel information for personal vehicle usage can be found at the link provided. The outside vendor payment form should be used to pay a company or organization outside of Boston College. In order to request a payment for an outside merchant, vendors that have never previously done business with BC must first complete a W-9 tax form. The electronic W-9 can be found on the SABSC website or on the link provided. The contact person should send the link to vendors to ensure they have completed the W-9 process. With the outside vendor payment form, it is required that an invoice that includes a remit address also be submitted. Once processed, vendors will receive payment either via mail or electronic fund transfer. Please note that Boston College does not process advance payments to outside vendors. Also, payments of cash, personal check, or credit card for labor-intensive services are strictly prohibited and will not be reimbursed. The outside vendor payment form is also used to reimburse outside personnel. If the reimbursement provides the address, a W-9 is not needed. A purchase order, or PO, is a promise to pay a vendor for a future expense to your department, with the exception of bus charters. When using a purchase order, please consult the quick guidelines to making a purchase on the procurement website. University policy requires that the competitive bids be obtained by procurement services from at least 3 qualified vendors, when available, for all orders totaling $10,000 or more, and completion of a sole source form. Any deviation from this policy requires written justification and evidence from the requisitioner to procurement prior to commitment of any order. The sole source form should be submitted with your purchase order request. After the purchase is cleared by procurement, submit the PO for processing. The form must be filled out completely and accurately. Following the submission of the request, the newly generated PO number will be emailed to the listed contact person, which should be provided to the appropriate vendor for invoicing. The processing of a purchase order can take 7 to 10 business days. An award or honorarium payment is used when giving a monetary amount as a gift to an individual professional in recognition of a service or achievement. Honorariums are used to give to Boston College faculty and staff, as well as outside speakers and scholars. Honorariums cannot be given to students. A W-9 is required to process this payment. This form can be found on the SABSC website or using the link on slide 9. Award or honorarium payments are made in the same manner as an outside vendor payment. However, with an award or honorarium, a contract is not required. If you do have a contract or invoice, please utilize the outside vendor payment form. Please note that this form is to be used when paying an individual, not a company. The student hire job posting form is used to post new student employment positions on the SABSC and Student Services webpage. With this form, a brief job description must be submitted. In addition, it is not required to use this form for students returning to your department. For more information on these instructions, please refer to the 3rd page of this form. Please make sure to fill out the skills and competencies page of the form. The student hire form is used when a new or returning student employee is hired. This form can be found on the SABSC website. For students who have never been employed at BC before, they must first complete eligibility forms through the Office of Student Services and HRSC before completing this form. For students who have been employed before, they will have already completed this process. Payments can take up to 10 business days or 2 weeks if sufficient information is provided. To ensure processing, please follow the detailed instructions that are found on page 3 of this form. Please make sure to fill out the skills and competencies page of the form. The student hire and payment request should be used to pay a BC student that is contracted to perform a one-time service for your department. Examples of this are the use of DJs or photographers. In order to be paid, the student service provider must have completed employment eligibility forms through the Office of Student Services. Please direct student service providers to the Student Services website or instruct them to visit the office in person located in Lyons Hall. For both the student hire form and the student hire and payment form, please ensure that the student hire has filled out an I-9 form or an I-20 form through the Office of Student Services before submitting paperwork. Current student employees will have already completed this process. This form should not be used for reimbursements or award and can take up to 10 business days or 2 weeks to process if sufficient information is provided. Please make sure to fill out the skills and competencies page of the form. As per university protocol, a request for a travel advance can be submitted in circumstances in which university travel imposes a financial burden on individuals involved. The travel advance form, which can be found on the SABSC website, must be signed and received by the SABSC at least 2 weeks prior to the trip. The travel advance form must be completed accurately with the correct chart string information. Afterwards, confirmation of the booking must be submitted and all payments must be documented. For conference registrations, you can either fill out a travel advance or use the P-card. Boston College considers the travel advance to be a loan. Therefore, each advance must be settled within 30 days of return from travel. To reconcile these advances, please complete the BC Employee Payment Form and the SABSC Expense Report as soon as possible. For employees who have yet to reconcile previously issued advances, new advances will not be issued. For international travel, BC individuals must complete the travel registry by going to the travel registry link. Please include the travel approval email from Global Engagement Gateway when submitting paperwork. For additional information on international travel, you can go to the Global Engagement Gateway webpage. When a department wishes to transfer funds from its chart string or account to another Student Affairs Department chart string, it may do so by requesting a fund transfer. Because of the nature of this form, accurate chart string information is essential. The department requesting the funds to be transferred out must initiate this process. The department receiving the funds should then be aware of the transfer and be able to monitor its progress. To initiate the process, please complete the SABSC transfer form with all the required information accurately completed on the form. Please allow 10 to 14 business days following the request submission for a transfer to be completed. Please note, a transfer request does not apply for paying invoices to the Bureau of Conferences at Boston College, also known as Event Management. Please also note that this form is to be used when transferring funds between different chart strings. It is the department's responsibility to transfer funds between account codes in the same chart string. In this slide, I will discuss the handling of deposits for collected revenues. Deposits should be submitted Monday through Friday to SABSC and are typically processed on Thursdays, unless specified as a rush. Do not leave a deposit in the SABSC inbox. Please note, if a cash bag or box is required, one should notify the SABSC 2 days in advance. All Department Student Affairs may order P-cards for new employees or cancel any active P-cards through the SABSC. To order a new card, send an email to sabsc@bc.edu with the new cardholder's name, Eagle ID, and the chart string that the card should be attached to. To cancel a card, only the chart string and cardholder's name are required. After ordering a new card, the new cardholder will be contacted directly by the SABSC when it arrives to pick up at the SABSC office. Please be aware that this can take 2 to 3 weeks. The card will already be activated by the SABSC. Departments are responsible for moving funds to and from their P-card line in PeopleSoft. All cardholders are responsible for reconciling any purchases made during a billing cycle at the end of each month. In this slide, I will be discussing the handling of corporate and department American Express cards. When using the corporate American Express card, you as the cardholder are responsible for signing up for the card and paying billing expenses, for which you will be reimbursed through the SABSC. To apply for an American Express corporate card, please email Jonathan Heinrichs. The Department American Express card or Business Travel Account card is intended for group travel expenses and booking travel for those not employed by Boston College. This card should only be used to make airline, hotel, rental car, and other related reservations. The monthly Amex bill for department cards is paid as a voucher and should be submitted to the SABSC within 1 week of the end of the billing cycle. To apply for an American Express department card, please email Anna Bronco. To cancel an active American Express card in your department, please email Anna Bronco and provide the cardholder's name. The credit card number is not required to cancel an active card. Some miscellaneous points to be aware of. Preferred method for submission of paperwork is email at sabsc@bc.edu. If a student has an inquiry pertaining to any financial paperwork, have them contact club.budget@bc.edu for assistance. Use MapQuest or Yahoo Map printouts for mileage reimbursements. For foreign travel, you can use awanda.com for conversion, unless credit card companies already do that for you. Staff supplemental payment request must be submitted to Judy Ferris, not to the SABSC. For assistance viewing or interpreting any of your department's ACRs, please click on the appropriate link shown on the slide. Finally, here are screenshots showing how to navigate our website. To get to our financial forms page, start at our home page, hover over the Administrators tab, and select Department Resources. This will take you to the Payment Forms page, and you can view and select the form you need. To see if there are any updates or reminders, you can visit our SABSC Updates and Reminders page. To get there, start at our home page, hover over the Administrators tab, and select SABSC Updates and Reminders. Please contact the SABSC directly with any questions should you encounter any difficulties by either emailing at sabsc@bc.edu or stop by our office in Maloney Hall, room 458 during regular business hours.